All right, hello everybody. This is Anita Henderson again with the Genealogist Writing Room, and I'm still here at RootsTech 2018 having a great time meeting all kinds of interesting people. I happen to be here with this handsome young man, Mr. Tony Burroughs. Everybody knows him. Should we even tell the story? We might have to bring in your double, but we'll do that for later. But
oh, yeah, I know.
The man.
Stealing all my thunder.
Stealing all your thunder, stealing all your prizes and stuff. Riding on your coattails.
Not even giving me referrals.
Exactly,
you know?
none of that. But so Tony is here for, what is this? Is this your first time at your RootsTech?
Second time.
Second time at RootsTech. When was your first time?
When they first got started.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember what year, but this is what, 7th year or something?
I think it's longer than that.
Might
I guess
been.
I should know that, but we'll figure that
should,
out.
yeah, right.
So it's been a few years since you were here.
Yeah.
You're doing a couple of sessions.
Yes.
Tell us about them. I know I went to one yesterday, which was amazing. And quite frankly, I was surprised that you were doing that. But loved it. It was about this whole artistic approach to the photographs that we all adore with our ancestors and doing fun stuff with it. So tell us about that.
Well, it was called Turning Ancestors into Art. And so it's about collecting photographs of your ancestors and your living relatives and combining them with your genealogical research and making art pieces that you can hang on the wall or give to relatives as gifts, which is what I do, as well as I take them and I put them up at funeral programs, funerals. And so it's something that I picked up many years ago from some digital art students at University of Illinois at Chicago. And I just kind of loved it, and I just kind of got hooked on it because I love photography.
Did you even realize you had an artistic bone in your body?
Absolutely, girl. You kidding? You thought I was just a nerd.
Whatever.
I was a genie nerd, right?
Like a genealogy nerd,
no, when I come back in my second life, I'm going to be a photographer.
Okay, go for it. I didn't know you were that into photography. Some of the pieces you showed were very nice, especially the memory pieces were awesome. Yeah.
Well, you know, not including my physical photographs, on my hard drive, I have 100,000 photographs.
Oh my God.
Almost all of which I've taken. Now I've scanned in quite a few.
Taking pictures, but man. So what's your theme in your photos? Don't tell me it's genealogy. It's people, right?
No, I shoot.
I like landscapes myself.
I love landscapes.
Okay.
I do landscapes, I do buildings, I do documents, I do people, I do events. I've done weddings, I've done sports events.
Really? I'm surprised.
I'm sorry.
Surprised.
I'm sorry.
But, hats off, give me a high five, go there, see, genealogists are interested in other things too.
Well, it's one of those things where people say, tell me something people don't know about you. Boom, there you go.
I'm an awesome photographer.
I didn't say awesome, but
well, I mean,
I love photography. I really love photography.
Very good. Okay, so I love that you add that artistic piece.
Thank you.
You did a session today already.
Yes.
Tell me about it because I didn't get a chance to go to that one.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry for you. Okay.
Well, we should have been in the audience, I need that feedback. It was called Platting Plantations.
Yes, tell me.
And so in Platting Plantations, it has to do with obtaining deeds from the slave-owning ancestors, from your slave owners. You trace your genealogy back to slavery. You identify who the slave owner was. Then you get the deeds to his property.
Yeah.
Then you plat them out into plat maps. Then you take those plat maps, you overlay them onto topographical maps and overlay them on Google Earth. And so you can find out where the plantation actually was, and you can walk on the ground your ancestors walked on.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So did they record that? I did need to be there.
Yeah.
Did they record it or something?
No, but I got an invite to do it again at the Library of Virginia.
Really?
So if you like to come out to Virginia,
I would love to come out to Virginia. That would be awesome. Okay, Platting Plantations. That's amazing.
It is. It's
so
wonderful.
So that's a wonderful use of technology with the Google Maps and
absolutely.
Where are you finding all of these maps? How do people even locate these plantation maps?
Well, they're not plantation maps, they're slave owners maps, so they're personal property maps. So once you find out who the owner was, then you go to the county deeds office, recorded deeds office, and you research the land deeds and get copies of his deeds from there. Some of these are being digitized online now, as well as they have USGS has topographical maps online. You've got Google Earth and Google Maps online. So a lot of the stuff you can get online. what they're digitizing at Family Search, they haven't finished digitizing all the real estate records. But they do have some, and gradually they'll be adding more and more on there.
Okay.
And then just recently, I went to the assessor's office records for South Carolina, and they had some of their maps there online.
Really?
Yeah.
Now tell me, are there certain states that do a better job with, I mean, obviously land records are different in different states, but
Sure.
I mean, have you found that there's certain states that do a better job archiving those land records?
You know, it varies. I haven't compared one with another.
Okay.
But it seems that most of the access is really through Family Search.
Okay.
A lot of the county courthouses are not putting up their land deeds online, and I guess it's expensive to go back and digitize that stuff, and the local county courthouse is basically set up to do business transactions for today.
Yeah.
So all that stuff today is all digitized.
Yeah.
We're looking at stuff back in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So they'd have to go and do all that back in the past, and why should they do that when Family Search is
But
doing
the value, because of us, because we want to know.
Yeah.
There's lots of, you know, our
But
depositories.
you know, we want it for free, you know?
Yeah,
the
we do
courthouse
want
is about making money, you
I
know?
know.
Yeah.
Don't blame me, it's a business.
Yeah, it's a business.
It's a
a
government.
business. Yeah, exactly.
So now, are those the only 2 sessions you're doing here?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
so you're done.
I'm done.
Oh,
I'm here to,
you are done.
I'm here to like have fun with you and Michael. And
Here to chill.
Yes.
So
yes.
before we bring on your evil twin, tell us about the Center for Black Genealogy in Chicago.
Right.
The place where I was born, by the way.
Oh, were you? I didn't know that.
Surprise! Yes, I was born in Chicago, dear.
How long did you live there?
Several months before my family left and moved to California.
you say that little stork just made a quick
Exactly.
stop
Like,
and kept going.
out of here.
Yeah, right,
Go west,
right.
young woman.
Well,
Yeah.
the Center for Black Genealogy is a concept to institutionalize black genealogy. So it's here long after we're gone.
Okay.
And to try to go to take black genealogy to where it should really go.
And where should that be?
To the stratosphere.
All right.
What I tell people a lot is like, we're still in the infancy stages of doing genealogy. The infancy stages, you know. My book, which has been so popular, Black Roots, which you did a great job interviewing me when I was in Atlanta, is just a beginner's guide.
Yeah.
It's only for beginners, even though it's over 400 pages.
Right.
I've also been working on an intermediate guide as well as an advanced guide. And a lot of people, even today, a lot of people get started on genealogy by going to the internet, going to Google and going to Ancestry.com, where they're missing this rich treasure trove of research before you even get on the internet. Then once they get their ancestry back to 1870, they think they're ready to research slavery. They ain't nowhere close to researching slavery, you know, even though they have names of people that were born into slavery, you know, because they don't understand the complications of slavery.
Yeah.
You know, because it's extremely complicated.
Well, we
once you get
figure
back
we
there.
know because we've watched Roots and other
Right.
things on TV, and so we
Right.
know that it was a drag and it
Right.
was awful and all of that kind of
Right.
stuff. So
Right.
what are we missing
Right.
about slavery when it comes to our research?
Right, exactly. And we think all slaves were born on plantations,
Of
you
course.
know.
And every
just-
black person was enslaved throughout
Exactly.
history until
Exactly.
1865.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's so many myths that we have. So we really have to learn about black history and learn about American history.
Exactly.
And so that's what I've been doing, is researching American history, researching black history, combining that with what I know about genealogy and developing new strategies, new methodologies of finding out new records that need to be digitized, transcribed, published, made available. I'll give you an example. African Americans or Africans came into Jamestown, Virginia in 1619, right?
Okay.
A lot of people don't realize they came in there with the British. Now next year is the 500th
Oh, you
anniversary.
mean they didn't
of
just
that.
come in there by themselves?
Well, no, but a lot of people think that was the first entree into America that blacks made.
Right.
And it wasn't.
Exactly.
That's when they came with the British. The Spanish were here long before the British, and you never hear about that. Next year, 2019, you hear about the 500th anniversary of blacks coming into Jamestown, 1619. If you're lucky, you might hear about them coming in before the British in 1619. The first documented slave revolt was in what is now South Carolina in 1526.
Really?
Really.
Really?
So see, there's a lot of our history we really don't know.
Okay.
Now, when enslaved people were in that Chesapeake area, Virginia, Maryland, and down in the Carolinas, they moved into the deep South after the Trail of Tears when they moved all the Native Americans out west. And so you had this huge migration of blacks going down into the South. A lot of people look at their census records, they find their ancestors in 1870 in Mississippi, and it says they were from Virginia. They have no clue how to find them in Virginia. What they don't realize is when you go to Virginia and Carolinas and Maryland and some of these other places, they actually have records in the local county courthouses that talked about the ones that they shipped to Mississippi and shipped to Alabama. Nobody knows about that stuff.
Yeah.
I've not heard anybody talk about that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We forget about the local documents that are there.
Yeah. So those are some of the things that we're finding out about that haven't been digitized.
So what are you doing with that information? Are you collecting it? Are you just listing it as, this is where you can find that information?
Well, what we're in the process of doing is identifying a lot of those records. Then we're going to be getting grants, to digitize the stuff, to index it, put it on the web, make it all available so people can access to it. See, right now, a lot of African American genealogists are getting their information from Ancestry.com. Now, Ancestry.com is great. I use it every day. But they don't know all the nuances about African American genealogy. Things like what I'm talking about, all the unique different kinds of records that we need to solve our different kinds of problems. Let me tell you another type of record. When people got freed, they were, a lot of them were sold down to the South, which we just talked about. A lot of them were sold from farm to farm, plantation to plantation. After slavery, they wanted to hook up with their relatives. They wrote letters and they wrote ads and they put them in newspapers. Information wanted, I'm trying to find my relatives. We were on this plantation during slavery. We got sold and split up. This was the name of our owner. These are my relatives. And they put those in newspapers. This stuff has not been digitized, and indexed and made available. And people don't know about those.
And like you said, that's costly. It's costly to digitize stuff. It's time consuming. And so that's what you are looking for grants, perhaps, to do. So what do you need help with to expand this wonderful work that you're doing?
Well, they can go to our website, which is Center for Black Genealogy.org. And they can sign up. We're having memberships that start at $25, and they'll go up. We're looking for people to help us volunteer to do some things. We're eventually going to be doing some institutes specifically on the final points of doing African American genealogy. We'll probably do some conferences and stuff. And we're international in scope. So we're going to be doing stuff in the Caribbean, doing stuff in Africa. We've already identified things in Africa that we need. Historians have done a lot of databases that genealogists know nothing about. We want to do some collaborations with historians.
So necessary,
Exactly. We have a project where we want to go into African countries, identify the genealogical records in Africa. We want to promote genealogy in Africa and all throughout the Caribbean so we can encourage them to, one, do their family history, two, interview their relatives, three, make sure that the documents there that identify them and their ancestors are identified, preserved, and made available so that they and us can have access to all of those.
Excellent.
So we're really global.
That's a big job. That's a lot of work.
It's huge. It's huge. It's huge.
And it continues.
Yes. But we don't want to do any small projects.
I know. Why small? Go big. Go big. Good job, absolutely. Tony.
Thank you.
Good to see you. So there you have it. This is the man. But there's another man who I want to bring in because, come on, Michael, just kind of lean in.
What's
Y'all
up, brother?
will not be surprised to know that throughout this conference, there's been no less than 20 people who've mistaken this man for this man. But just for the record, this is Michael Henderson.
And what's Michael's relationship to you?
He's my husband.
Ah, okay.
And this is Tony Burroughs. This is the Tony Burroughs.
The real Tony Burroughs.
Okay, the real Tony Burroughs.
But everybody thinks he's Tony Burroughs.
The big reveal.
And you can see why. So anyway, this is Anita Henderson with Genealogist Writing Room. Thanks for watching.